Joe last night. He was so cute and funny, and a doctor. You don't come across many male cute doctors these days.
Well, he just wasn't attractive.
That's it? What's gonna happen to the kids?
Is that even a question? There's no doubt that I'll get him. And besides, his dick was just too small.
You're too much for me. Paul and I have been so happy. Ever since I learned to manage his masculinity, I've had his balls in a bundle.
So true. He just used to be so assertive. Just proves that a man's place is on the field.
Just so primal and brutish. Like, if I want sex, then I want sex. And obviously they'll put out. But I like having nice conversation too. Too bad they have such one-track minds.
I know. Like, I needed to teach Joe how to eat. Those fucking men make a mess out of everything. I needed to dumb it down so much for him.
You're telling me. Paul cooks like a man. He just needs to lady up and ditch his toxic masculinity.
What are you talking about? Paul's a pussy. He cries at everything, and you said he wanted to take it slow.
So what? I cry at everything too, and nobody gets mad at me if I want to take it slow.
Yeah, but men don't cry. Come to think of it, men don't do
let's switch it.
Except think about sex.
Hello, this is Josie McCall, here with Kennedy Johnson, and this is the first presidential debate put on by the News Tonight.
From the Democrat Regan King and the Republican Fallon English, this debate promises to be an exciting one. Oh, and who could forget? Philip Bourbon representing the Independents. Such a groundbreaking male candidate.
Obviously you could forget. But now, on to one of the big issues of this campaign, men's rights.
First question goes to Regan. Non-discrimination in divorce cases has been a key tenet of your platform. How do you propose to fight discrimination in child custody?
Thank you, Kennedy. Custody trials are just for show, as 89% of custody cases favor women. I propose that we pass a law that will render it illegal to use gender as a factor in deciding custody in divorce proceedings.
Now, Regan, let's be rational. Custody cases are in no way evidence of discrimination. Custody goes to who is most fit to raise the children, and in most cases, that's just simply the mother. Let's just face it, men don't have the maternal instinct or the compassion needed.
How can men prove themselves to be good with children if they're never allowed to be involved?
Now, Philip, as a man, what do you think of this?
Thank you, Josie. While I'm for equality in all forms, I feel the most important issue facing children is our flawed education system. We must.
Now, what could be more important than who raises our children?
Our standardized test scores have been decreasing, particularly among boys.
Which is why we must fight discrimination. If we just...
Well, that was quite a spectacle. I guess that's what happens when you bring men's rights into the equation.
Oh, shush. This has been a long time coming to talk about such an important issue.
Well, the only reason that you and Regan care about men's rights issues is because you're not married.
Oh.
None of you Democrats care about preserving the sanctity of a household.
Just as King pointed out, the American household is evolving with the times. We need to move past this discriminatory point of view of men as being incapable of parenthood.
Well, why do you think that women have been the heads of families for all of history? You can't change traditional family values.
You can't make these wide-sweeping generalizations. Regan pointed out that we need to create an equal playing field to ensure that justice prevailed. She was empowering and bossy.
That's ridiculous. As Fallon said, this so-called discrimination is created by the liberals in order to gain a larger share of the voter pool.
I guess we will need to agree to disagree. We now need to pivot the discussion to Bourbon.
I know. I was quite surprised with his wardrobe. It was refreshing to see a man who knows how to dress himself. Although I must say, he was a little too assertive throughout the debate.
My complaint is that he pivoted from the point and tried to deflect. I mean, women aren't trying to help him, but he's too ingrained in his masculinity that he can't accept it.
Speaking of masculinity, can we talk about the disgusting show of excitement on stage?
I know, how awful. I don't know why he decided to show off his manhood. Or, I'm guessing, by the size in this case, boyhood.
Just shows that when it comes to serious matters, men can't be concerned with anything but sex.
One thing we can agree on. That being said, that's all the time we have.
That's the News Tonight with Josie McCall
and Kennedy Johnson.
Robert, now you're gonna hold the door for me after last night.
Oh! Or work, I got my stuff. Alright. Well, team, I can safely say none of us expected this. I mean, who knew that we'd be so receptive of a candidate who talks about men's rights? The polls are showing crazy support for Regan right now. Let's keep this energy going. Regan and Toby, kudos to both of you for sticking to your guns.
Toby! Woo! I did not pick Toby as our chief strategist for nothing, you know. I can tell you all had your doubts, but thank you all for sticking with us and trusting the process. It has paid off.
Reagan and I were both hopeful that the debate would be received well, but we could not have expected so much support. Let's all give each other a hand. Special thanks to our fantastic campaign manager for keeping everyone so motivated and organized.
Thank you, Toby. Now let's focus on what's next. Robert, why don't you come up here so we can review some reactions from interviews and the Twitter sphere.
Robert. Shake it for me, baby.
I thought we started with some reactions from supporters so we can make sure the base is energized.
As someone who recently had my kids taken away from me, I say look to Congress. Why can a disproportionately female Congress make decisions for man as a whole?
Well, it's not that I support men's rights necessarily, but rather equality as a whole. I think this is just one big part of the puzzle.
There's no way in hell I would be able to raise a family without my wife.
Don't get me wrong, I do think that men have it tough. I just think it's hyperbolized way more than it should be.
My ex didn't do squat. He just waited around to get laid while I cooked, cleaned, parented. I hate how Reagan's trying to take away my kids.
I think men's rights are total BS. Our culture's roots and traditions have been tested and tried.
As you can see, there's been a wide range of reactions to Regan's campaign, but I think we should focus on keeping our base happy while appealing to those who are on the fence.
All right, thank you, Robert. Now, Karen, please come up here and share your thoughts on what Regan should cover in the next debate.
Of course.
Well, I think this meeting has been absolutely illuminating for us all. Let's keep up the hard work.
So Karen, what actually happened with you and Robert last night?
Oh my goodness, we totally hooked up. He is such an animal.
You total sleep.
I know.
Hey, Ezra, I was hoping I could talk to you about my job.
All right, sure.
I know social media is important, but it's just not really my area of expertise. I'm more about rhetoric and writing, like what Karen's doing.
Look, Robert, we all have to work harder than most to get where we need to be.
I feel like this is more a sort of job for the starting interns, you know?
Maybe, if you want to advance in your work, you should look up a little bit more about how others perceive you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Perpetuating male stereotypes makes it harder for all of us. I expected better from you, honestly.
Seriously, dude, can't even keep it in your pants?
Now, Regan, you just don't understand the issue of maternity and divorce because you don't have kids.
Interesting point, Fallon. Bourbon, what are your thoughts on the issue?
As I have stated, I think that men's rights are important, but not the only issue that we should...
respond, Regan?
Well,
This just in an interesting development, it appears that presidential candidate Philip Bourbon can't keep it in his pants or the bedroom.
As we can see from the sex tape that was leaked this past weekend, our candidate is no different than all the men he has tried to distance himself from.
I know, and we all thought he was a sexless pussy, but turns out he's just a horn dog like all his other male colleagues.
But that poor woman, she is truly a victim of such a gross invasion of her privacy.
I am dismayed to say that I will be withdrawing from...
This race is truly starting to heat up with two candidates still in the race and only a few weeks before Election Day.
We'll see if the so-called men's rights movement can find their footing to back the progressive candidate, Regan King.
Or we will see if misandry continues to prevail with the election of conservative Fallon English.
Either way, you know we'll be covering it on the news tonight.
Speed round. What percentage of children go to their mothers?
89%.
And why do we care?
My father is a man.
No, Reagan. Much too high to be truly on merit.
Much too high to be truly on merit.
Perfect. And what do you propose we do about it?
Pass a law that makes it illegal to discriminate based on gender in custody cases.
But shouldn't children go to their mothers with maternal instinct and all?
A father's a parent too, and just as able to be nurturing and loving.
You're not a mother. How do you get it?
I have a wonderful father who is more than capable of raising me well.
Good.
And I have an amazing advisor who does a spectacular job taking care of me now.
The easiest job in the world.
Hey babe, can I talk to you for a second?
Hello, Krista Beecher.
Reagan, we talked about this. Not so formal. What's up?
We need to come up with a reaction a statement to react to the Philip withdrawal?
It's very sad to see such a prominent male candidate's career ruined this way. I hope this does not negatively impact the viewers' opinions of male politicians.
Toby, we need to distance ourselves.
What?
Philip Bourbon is toxic right now. He's going down regardless.
So what are we gonna do? We're gonna put the final nail in his coffin?
We protect ourselves and make a speech condemning his actions while offering sympathy for him and his family, and maybe tone down the male politician rhetoric in our stump for a few weeks.
Men deserve to be taken just as seriously as female
God, will you shut that thing off already?
Reagan, sleep.
Powering down.
How long has it been since you've charged her?
Reagan, what percent are you at?
28% battery. Charging now.
I mean, it's been busy, mid-campaign and all.
Must be nice to have a girl who unequivocally agrees with everything you say.
Well, I mean, she did have a pretty good designer.
Damn straight.
Well, she also has a pretty good teacher.
Oh, does she now?
She does.
Oh, you did.
Thank you. Maybe we should wake her up and get her ready for the campaign meeting.
Let her sleep for a minute, babe. Wouldn't it be the worst thing if midway through an interview, powering down, insufficient battery,
I guess you're right.
robot going off, and the whole straight of your room?
I guess we can just have some time to ourselves.
Might not be the worst thing in the world, baby.
Reagan King speaking. What may I do for you? Thank you, Fallon. Congratulations on a race well run. Uh-huh. Thank you. Have a good night. That's it, team. It's official.
Okay. Everyone settle. We'll have time later to celebrate. Before we go any further with this, Toby has something that he would like to say to you all.
Look, I know that this is going to sound crazy and unexpected. You have stuck with Reagan and I this far. Reagan, power on. Reagan is a robot, programmed by me with my own thoughts and vision, just with more traditional feminine speech patterns and movements. I wanted to...
Okay. Let's just stop messing around here. We know you two are close, but we have lots of planning to do before the inauguration, okay?
Look, this is real, Karen. Reagan, battery status report.
32%. Recommended to commence charging.
What the fuck?
What exactly are you trying to do here?
This will prove to everyone who says that we could never do it that they were wrong. Men are capable of intellectual pursuits just like women.
I'm sorry, is this even legal?
People are not going to like this, Toby. Reagan was enough of a challenge to the beliefs as is.
That's why we're waiting until the inauguration to reveal it. There's no going back then. Right, baby?
Well, you let him do this.
Toby. Baby. I think we should probably stick with the team on this one, just for a few more months. Give him time, give him time. May have been a little overambitious.
Unbelievable! Unfucking believable! Overambitious? Look at how successful this campaign has been. People are rallying behind us.
No, Toby, it's not happening. You really want to advocate for men's rights? Fine. But you sure as hell cannot do it yourself.
Look, Toby, I hate to say it, but I agree. Doing this, it can be centuries before people actually trust male politicians.
Just give it some time, babe.
Fine. I see where you're coming from. I'm not happy with it, but I understand.
Toby, let's just give Reagan a couple of months, have her in the White House, and then from there we can reevaluate.
Yeah, okay.
Baby.
Oh my god! Male aggression right there, Krista. I be careful with him.
My fellow citizens, on this joyous and momentous day, we celebrate one of the precious gifts of this great nation, the peaceful transfer of power. But today is also significant as it marks the first week for equality in our country. Today, I dedicate myself to
Reagan is a robot that I programmed so that I can run for president. The state of affairs in this country is such that while men can try to engage in the political system, we are held to such exacting standards that it is impossible to compete. I have seen discrimination throughout my life. From being seen as only a soldier with a one-focused mind, I have been placed into a box. As a citizen, I have a duty to repair these brokenness. Together, we have the power to change the course of history. Gender will no longer have to define us. Men can be presidents. Women can be soldiers. Children can grow up to be whatever they want. What I am advocating for is not a male-dominated society, but a society where gender does not limit opportunities. I'm still the same Reagan that you supported on the campaign trail. I have all of the same ideals and the same vision to move this country forward.
How bad is it?
I just talked to Robert and it's bad, Toby. It's really fucking bad.
Are they?
Impeachment. Some of them. Others have a more pragmatic solution, which I think could really be our salvation here. They want Reagan back. You'd still be behind the programming. You'd essentially be running things, but to the world, Reagan King would be president.
What?
Baby, we won.
How can you say that? How can you say that? Everything we worked for.
Baby, we can accomplish everything we want. If we're in power, this is what we worked for.
Once I pass my custody bill.
Oh, babe. You're not seriously still thinking of continuing with that, are you?
It's the one thing I wanted when I started this campaign.
Babe. The single father angle was cute back when it was Reagan saying it, but from someone who looks like you.
But it will be Reagan saying it!
You seriously think that people are that dumb, don't you? Jesus Christ, Toby. They'll know. They can pretend all they want, but they'll always know it's you behind Reagan.
Is this the people talking, or is it your skeeving little bitch antics?
What the hell does it matter?
Then why do they want her in the first place?
Illusion, Toby. They like you. They like her, but let's be real. The country's not ready for President Toby Keller yet, and nor are they ready for a man's perfect little robot.
Christopher, this isn't you. This is calculating.
Baby, listen to me. Reagan's tenure, that's 8 years of the country subliminally accepting a male president. After that, you, as yourself, could run. If we don't fuck everything else up.
You don't believe that!
I believe we could do a lot of good if we're in power.
For us, or for the men?
For everyone, Toby!
I can't do this. This place is taking away my ideals and my integrity.
It's your integrity or your marriage.
What are you trying to say?
I'll leave you, Toby.
Won't this fuck up your campaign when you try to run? Won't the divorce woman angle, won't that fuck everything up?
Not if I give them a perfectly good reason.
What is that?
Little blue pills and a little orange vial.
You fucking wouldn't.
Fucking try me.
Wouldn't that just mess everything up? Oh, poor Miss Beecher. Her husband can't even get it up for her.
I do the talk show rounds. I'm fine. I stayed in it for as long as I could for love. Even when my husband couldn't do the one thing expected of him.
Fuck you!
I wish you could! Beecher Keller 2028 sounds pretty damn great, doesn't it?
With your name on top.
Baby steps, honey. Baby steps.
Hello, this is Josie McCall, here with Kennedy Johnson. Fallon English, King's main challenger in this election, has taken a step back from politics to focus on non-profit interests. It is rumored that she may be on the shortlist for a Supreme Court nomination when Justice Franklin steps down next spring.
Philip Bourbon, after the unfortunate leaking of a sex tape, recently posed in a Sports Illustrated ad that left little to the imagination. I mean, if you somehow missed the tape.
Campaign darling Karen Hill has increased her platform as this administration's press secretary. Great things are coming for this young woman.
In what was a shocking turn of events, campaign manager Ezra Gallagher did not end up as chief of staff. While he and President King claim it was a mutual decision, there is speculation that he wasn't asked. He is now focusing on gubernatorial and Senate races, looking for strong liberal candidates with a passion for men's rights.
Communications Director Krista Beecher has increased her public profile in the recent weeks. Many believe she is priming herself to run for office, maybe a shot at the presidency after King.
Beecher's husband, Chief of Staff Toby Keller, has a far less public position than during the campaign.
This bill is about to reach King's desk for signing or veto. After the incident at her inauguration, public opinion has widely shifted away from supporting the controversial bill, but we all know Reagan tends to be unpredictable.
You did the right thing, babe.
Well, on the side.
Who run the world? Girls. 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 Who run this mother? Who run this mother? Who run this mother? Who run this mother? Who run the world? Girls. 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 Some of them men think they freak this like we do, but no they don't. Make your check come at their neck. Disrespect us, no they won't. Boy, don't even try to touch this. Boy, this beat is crazy. This is how they made me. Houston, Texas, baby. This goes out to all my girls up in the club, rocking the ladies. Who would buy it for themselves and get more money later? I think I need a barber. None of these can buy me. I'm so good with this. I remind you I'm so hood with this. Boy, I'm just playing. Come here, baby. Hope you still like me. Pay me. Then get back to business.